Owl Cosplay and my lovely friend Rente Cosplay. We are here for a lovely segment of Cosplay Confidential. Woo! Yeah. And we have an awesome topic today that we're going to be talking and discussing about. And it's usually a pretty big one here in the cosplay community. And that is buying a cosplay versus making a cosplay. So let's kind of hop into that. How do you want to start this off?
I'm just going to start off. If you buy your cosplay, you're not a real cosplayer.
Is what a lot of people say.
Yeah. Which is pretty much why it's such a big topic of debate. Like with a lot of other communities, there's this whole elitism thing which goes on, and it's so crazy because it's like it's supposed to be a fun thing, but people make it a not fun thing.
Yeah, it can turn into almost like a stigmatism with whether you bought your cosplay and like added things to it, or you're just wearing a fully bought cosplay, which is difficult when it comes to like school uniform costumes, you know. So
yeah. So you have a lot of people who are like, I spent 500 years on this cosplay, you know, I've honed my seamstressing skills, my foam smithing skills, I can make silicone molds like a pro, I can resin cast anything you want me to. And then you have people who don't know any of that stuff, and they're very okay with buying it, and there's nothing wrong with it. In fact, if you buy cosplays, sometimes you're supporting people, you know, who have this as a living. Like, you take cosplay sites that do it on like a huge outsourcing level.
Yeah.
Like you have My Costumes, Easy Cosplay, you know, and it's kind of expensive price for a cheaper quality. But then you have commissioners who are on a smaller scale. Say you find someone in Toronto who's trying to make a nice little living off of it.
It's true.
So it's like sometimes you're helping people.
That's very true. Cool. It's like my my Poison Ivy cosplay that I did for March Toronto Comic Con this past year. That I did not make that. I do not know how to make a corset. That was actually one of I'd like to call her my friend now, Heather, who is Apollini Corsets.
I've heard of her.
Yeah, she does amazing work. It's like steel bone. My waist does not look like that in real life. That is definitely the corset. And I paid her money to do it because I'm like, hey, I would love to be Poison Ivy. I've always wanted to be her. And I want a bunny suit corset. But I am not ready to try and make that. My sewing skills is not there yet. I'm not comfortable with it. Could I commission you? She said, yeah, absolutely. And you know what? The reception for that costume that I got back was amazing. And it was a fully bought cosplay.
Yeah, and a big part is, you know, we're here to have fun.
Yeah.
And it's always been that, but a lot of people are just, they take it too seriously.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably the people who literally cosplay for competitions as a challenge. I feel like it kind of like drilled into their brain a bit about how, you know, it's a competition. You should make everything from sewing your gloves to the boot covers to the buckles to the like every single little detail. Make your own ears, which I didn't make these, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
So it can get a little complicated, and it has definitely opened, I feel like, a few feuds in any community for cosplay with bought versus making. But for me personally, I don't care. I just want to have fun with my friends, and if I win a competition in the meantime, cool.
Yeah, and a lot of the time, people would buy a cosplay and then they'll alter certain pieces with what they're familiar with. Say they buy like a Final Fantasy cosplay online and it has like a couple armor bits. Say I don't sew, you know, I'll go buy that and then I'll make my own armor bits for it.
Exactly.
And then over time, you know, you can maybe study it, learn things yourself. It's all like, everyone should just go at their own pace.
Exactly.
And buying really helps that process too. Everyone starts somewhere.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And another, I feel, segment in like the bought cosplay part is like closet cosplays, doing like the casual cosplays where they're in like normie clothes, but you got like the styled up wig and stuff, which is a lot of fun because it kind of brings you a more like on a more like familiar level with the characters, which is a lot of fun. Or like thrift shopping for costumes, doing alternate versions for them. Like there's nothing wrong with that. It's all in your own vision, which is fantastic.
And we have a big name, Kamui Cosplay, who just recently did a closet cosplay. And I was reading her description and she was like, this is my first closet cosplay. I love the hell out of it. So comfy, and it's only because she didn't get her main cosplay done in time.
Yeah.
And you know what? Nothing wrong with it. Go to a thrift
No.
shop, have some fun, be comfy for once.
Exactly, because we all know that, wearing a full suit of armor and waddling around like a little armor penguin is not the most comfortable. But it's worth it in the end. It's worth it in the end. Mm-hmm. Which is nice.
Yeah.
But I don't think that there's been any situations here in the cosplay community in Toronto about that, has there?
I would say generally, I feel like our little community here is very close-knit. Mm-hmm. Everyone, I feel like, is very understanding.
Yeah.
Like, say you go to Ottawa, you go to some random place up north, it's a very small community, so they have to share pluck from other communities, and I feel like that's where you might have some issues.
Yeah, that's a good point. Especially if, I feel like it might get more centralized, the stigma, if, a city has a lot of big cosplay competitions with big money values.
Yeah.
Because we all know that don't get me wrong, buying cosplay is still expensive. Like, if you want a decently made one, or to add on to it, you're still looking to spend at around $80 to $150.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But when you make a cosplay, people are like, oh yeah, it might be cheaper. It's not cheaper. It's like,
we've all
because
made that mistake.
we've all made that mistake. It's like the last 2 weeks before the convention, you're like, I have no time, Amazon Prime.
Oh yeah.
It's like you can't outsource everything, so then it's like your original budget of $200 for an armor goes up to $250 or $300, and you're like, whoops.
Yeah.
Guess I'm working another extra shifts.
But I don't know, the whole thing with buying, everyone goes at their own pace. And I think ultimately that's what it leads to. We're all just having fun, we all do our own thing, and if it leads to us learning new talents, new skills over whatever course of time, then if it takes you 5 years, okay. If it takes you 10 years, also okay. 2 months, fabulous. Do your thing.
Yeah, and it's even the bot cosplays, they can have a huge impact on the community. Like the Spidey 6, the 6 Spideys. They're all bot. They've altered things, but they're in Zentai suits, which is a bot costume. They buy their face shells, or they made their face shells, but they go out into the community and bring so much of an energy and positivity to the areas wherever they go, and that's a bot cosplay.
Yeah.
So whatever you do, it's fun. It's fine. It's cosplay. Cosplay is for fun. It's literally costume play, right? So let's just have fun with it, which is great.
So if you bought your cosplay, you are a real cosplayer. Thank you for joining us here on Cosplay Confidential yet again, and we will see you guys next time. You can follow me at Rente Cosplay and Quirky Owl Cosplay.
And don't forget the lunchbox. You can follow us on social media such as Instagram, the Twitters, and of course YouTube. So come on down, visit us, see us, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.